Hello.
You right there?
Yeah, that's going to be a strange one today.
Oh, it's going to be a really strange one.
It is. It is. How you been? It's been a while. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time, isn't it, since we last did one of these? I mean,
yeah, I think the last one we recorded was back in July.
Was it?
Yeah, and then
you're right. I just had a look. It was 17th of July.
17th of July, and then it's now October.
Yeah, that's
had a
crazy.
long old break.
It doesn't feel like it.
Well, why is that? Why is that?
I don't know. It just doesn't. It just feels like it wasn't that long ago that we were doing Spider-Man.
I think it feels long ago for me because I've seen tons of Marvel content.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Matt's here. You alright, Matt?
I am, yeah. How are you?
I'm okay, I think. We were just talking about how long it's been since we last recorded one of these things. It's been months, yeah. Like July we last recorded. We did the Spider-Man one.
My word.
And then we had a long old break. It felt like we were so busy over the summer, didn't it? After the live show, everyone was doing stuff. So
yeah, it was a mad one for those 3 months with like the live show and you know hammering this out and.
Oh my god, yeah. It's been manic, but I kind of haven't stopped. That's what I was telling James. Because we've watched like 3 of the series, like the Marvel series. So I guess we better talk about that before talking about Howard the Duck.
I mean, okay, so you've seen basically up to where we are, aren't you? Like in terms of
So then the next, because I'm trying to work out. So it went WandaVision, the Winter Soldier, and
Loki.
Loki.
You've watched the What If stuff though, right?
Bits of it, yeah. It's okay. I'm not blown away by that.
It was good.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm like, okay. It just seems a bit. Look, it's not bad. I wasn't blown away. Well, so now it's Black Widow next. So we got that, which we're quite looking forward to getting back into. And also, I mean, Sean's about to come on as well. So I'm going to go into too much, but
I wonder where he was.
Yeah, he's on his way. I've watched like loads of the films again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah, we sort of just
you absolute nerd.
It's like a Saturday morning thing because Charlie didn't watch them with us, and although they're probably age inappropriate for Charlie, they're definitely age inappropriate for Charlie. He's young enough for it not to be like a problem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean,
it's weird, isn't it? It's like he's not truly conscious of what's going on the telly yet. So that's we got that coming up. We did something exciting, very exciting. We booked to go to Euro Disney.
Oh, nice.
Amazing. Awesome.
And we're staying in the Marvel Hotel, James.
Oh, cool. We went to the one in Shanghai and we stayed in the Toy Story Hotel.
I think I'd prefer that.
Yeah, it was pretty good, actually.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty cool because they've got like a Marvel campus thing there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but Star Wars as well, Harry. Do you remember Star Wars? That was only 2 years ago. And he's like, I don't care. I do not care about Star Wars anymore. We tried to watch the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. Harry tapped out after about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, what? As in like the series?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
it's a whole different pace, isn't it, really, to the Marvel stuff? And it's like not really... I don't know. It just feels like they're not. Yeah, it's not really for kids.
It's hard to go back to the world of Star Wars after watching so much Marvel, I think.
So I've been watching, Andor. The Cassian Andor series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching that. And it's not bad actually. It's pretty good. I'm quite enjoying it, but it is also very slow paced and like I wouldn't watch this with anybody else. It's fine watching on my own. But,
a lot of people are saying it's actually quite un-Star Wars-like, and that's a good thing, or it's more grown up in inverted commas. Would you say that?
I don't know, because it depends what you mean by Star Wars. Really, it's like if you mean like the Phantom Menace and stuff like that, or I guess. I got
an impression it's like more Rogue One, which again felt like a very slight departure from Star Wars, and
Yeah, it's definitely more like that, and it's more like Mandalorian or whatever. You know,
it's not Star Calls, boys. What are you doing? Planet Marvel Call. Have you? What's your situation with Marvel, Matt? Do you love it?
I mean, I've enjoyed all the ones
fan.
I've seen, but I'm not. I haven't seen every movie. I've seen loads of them out of order. I mean, should we not wait for Sean?
He's coming. He'll be here.
Okay. When like you said you're doing this, I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch all the movies in order, then listen to the show, and then it got to the point I'm like, I'm just not going to find the time to do that. So I just listened to all the episodes, and it made me want to go back and watch the films. And Jill and I have said, oh yeah, well, let's start from the beginning and watch them all, because I think we've probably watched a majority, but not all, and certainly not in the right order to understand kind of meanings.
I don't even know how you do that.
You must have seen like Iron Man several times now. Like if you keep starting it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how you do that, because there's so much of these films. It's like, oh, that's referring to the last film, or that is surely all that sort of plot over the top of it. You just don't know where you are.
Well, I mean, I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't see the first one at the right time, and then that film's going to be good. I watched that film. We saw like Thor Ragnarok because we had a free night where the deals at our grandparents went to cinema. We're like, oh, that's on. Let's watch Thor. We obviously love the Spider-Man movies. We love the Avengers movies, but never weren't really there to kind of pick up the threads because we didn't watch it in order.
Hello, mate.
Hey, Sean.
We're going through. We're just having a bit of a catch up with each other, I think, at the moment before we go into things. I just told them that I've watched quite a few of them back, like, because it's been a long time since our last episode. I've watched a fair few of them back. Actually, there's one thing that I really wanted to talk to you about, James. It's really been playing on my mind. I genuinely can't remember if I brought this up on the Endgame show or the Endgame call, but one thing that's been going over and over in my mind is that they made a whole point about making sure that when it comes to time travel, it's different from the usual things, right?
Yeah, it's not the whole, like,
it's always continuously going forward. You're just creating new realities. That was the idea, right?
Yeah.
Why the fuck did we see old man Steve Rogers then at the end of Endgame?
I'm sure there's a reason for that, but I don't know what it is.
Think one then. They spent all that time saying that stuff doesn't happen.
I'm not going to make something up because I need to think about it.
It's bollocks, isn't it? I was sitting there, I think I was on a bus, and I was like, we shouldn't have seen old man Rogers.
Yeah, because the whole point, isn't it, is that he
goes off in his reality.
Like, they actually don't change anything, right? Everything gets put back the way it was. They just retrieve the stones, use them, and then put them back.
No, that's not what I'm going for. What I'm going for is that when the time travel, like, Banks, they specifically brought up Back to the Future. They said it's not like Back to the Future. Hold on, because it's Googled. But hold on, let me just.
No, it's not because I've Googled it. I think I know why it is.
Hold on. Well, just bear with me.
No, if the whole point is that they're trying not to actually change anything, then how is Steve Rogers allowed to go? I'll just live an entire life.
The rules of time travel in a Marvel Cinematic Universe is that they can't change anything. So
that's what I mean.
Yeah, if you go back into the past and you knock down a tree, that tree still, and then you go back to your reality, that tree's still there because it's all you've done is splintered the timeline.
Yeah, you've created a new timeline. Yeah.
So surely, if Rogers goes back and gets with the girl that he seriously should have just given up on a while back, then surely he doesn't appear later on in that timeline as an old man going, "Hey, I remember you guys. Here's the shield."
Yeah, because that would be a separate timeline.
Yeah.
Okay, can I? I think I know why this is.
I mean, this is before you get into the multiverse stuff.
I'm not there yet. Well, I guess I kind of am there now, but okay.
Yeah, James know the answer because he may or may not have Googled it.
No, I've not Googled it. I swear. I mean, I'm
thought about it with his giant brain.
This is almost certainly wrong as well, which means I'm going to have to add this to the pinned tweet.
Go on.
In about 6 months' time.
Yeah.
No, I think this is. It's they all go back to like put the stones back, right?
Yeah.
Which then
he goes back to put the stones back, doesn't he?
Yeah, he goes back to put the stones back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was his job. Yeah, that's right.
It's okay. So he does that to ensure that things, stay in the right timeline. Things continue as they're supposed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means that he was supposed to stay there, and that was what was supposed to happen in that timeline. He didn't change anything. That's exactly what was always going to happen.
But But surely then, surely then, if that was happening, and everything goes forward, like they said, there was 2 Steve Rogers roaming about the Earth. But we know that wasn't the case because
there was.
No, listen. We know that wasn't the case because he was spying on her, and she married someone that she saved from the thing.
How do we know that that's not the wrong?
You reckon she's a little liar, and she actually had a Rogers tucked away?
It might have been.
I'm sorry, what?
Might have been him.
She had a little Rogers tucked away, didn't she?
Might have been him.
Yeah, she had a nightcap. Yeah, does that work? Does that work?
I feel like we're getting off on the wrong foot here because I like that film.
It's a fantastic film.
All I've done is like I'm all right with them being a bit silly with the rules. I don't really mind.
That's right, isn't it? You right. So, Sean, you are probably the closest to, if not the. Oh no, because James has seen them all, but you'd had a couple of gaps in your. But you're a fan of the MCU, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
So, but here's the interesting thing, Matt, and obviously James knows what I think of all of the films, but you're listening along in real time. Talk about separate realities. Jesus Christ, different timelines. So you've got no idea what I think of Endgame or
No. I mean,
Okay.
I'm more excited to hear what Harry thought of him. I assume they emotionally destroyed him.
do you want to know? Because when people hear this, they would have heard it already. I love them. Like those two films, Infinity War and Endgame, are absolutely phenomenal. Like I really, really love them. Harry, I don't think he didn't have an emotional breakdown at the end of Infinity War. He sort of sat there open mouthed, just like, as if to go, what? And then Joe had to explain to him, look, no, the most upset he got over a film was the first Guardians of the Galaxy with the We Are Groot bit.
Yeah,
that's the most like upset he's been.
I wonder,
over.
do you think there's a scale thing to that? Like it's like that's just one group of mates and it's one guy that you like sacrificing himself for his pals, whereas the scale of like, oh, half of all the universe just died is like so vast that you can't.
Yeah, I think he was more in shock. Like, I think he was more in shock.
Yeah.
That all these people were dying. Yeah, I think that's probably it. It's like, oh, my favourite's dead, but also loads of others are. So yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know.
Because I'd hoped like he was young enough to not have that cynicism that I think a lot of people did. That you see the end of Infinity War and you're just like, well, half these people are still on contracts, so.
Oh right, okay, yeah, but like my view was like I'm really interested to find out how they bring them back, and I was so thick. How like I had all these theories and I was spouting them out, but I didn't think, oh, what if they got all the Infinity Stones together? That didn't even cross my mind. Right, it's so stupid.
What made me laugh was that before, so like between Infinity War and Endgame, obviously Captain Marvel came out. So there's all over YouTube, there's these videos like, here's how Captain Marvel's going to sort everything out in Endgame. but all those videos were like, she's really strong and she can go into this other mode where she's even stronger and she can beat Thanos. And it's like, that's not it, though. That's not what, like, so what if you kick the shit out of Thanos at this point? That doesn't really solve anything.
I know.
That's not...
I didn't like that film. What was
You didn't like Captain Marvel? Oh, mate.
It's terrible.
It's not terrible.
It is a terrible film.
Really, really dull.
It's not very good. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You're on your own there, Sean.
I thought I'd absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I think Brie Larson's awesome. I thought, okay, this is going to be great, but I don't know.
So two things. I mean, people have heard this, right? Like a couple of weeks ago. This is what's nuts. But there was two things that annoyed me. The first being the way she got her powers was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. She blew up. Look, an Infinity Stone powered engine or whatever blew up next to her.
I mean, it's no more or less ridiculous than half of the others.
Well,
yeah,
it is when you but it is when you consider that same Infinity Stone like was injected into Wanda, and all she got was the telekinetic. Actually, she was quite powerful, but nowhere near as powerful as Captain Marvel.
Right, I've got to interrupt.
I don't know.
No,
it's pretty fucking powerful, mate.
Okay.
The biggest problem with that film is just that she has zero character development, though. That's the problem with it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah, seriously.
The whole point of that film is that she has the powers throughout, but it's about her realization that she doesn't need to listen to the old prick who's telling her she needs to like.
But that was
She doesn't listen to him from the start.
She doesn't. Sean, he's got a point.
Yeah, but she's still like.
He's like she's defiant from moment one.
No, she resents him, but she doesn't actually break free of his control. That's the whole point.
I'll tell you something about that film as well. I didn't like how they tried to like the 90s theme. I think 90s music is really good. I love that period of music, right? But I think they tried to do a Guardians of the Galaxy sort of overall theme with the music, and I don't think they picked the right songs at all. I don't think it worked with what was going on. I must say, I don't remember most of them. I thought the way they used "Come As You Are" was really smart. Like the lyrics and what's going on in that scene is really good. But other than that, I don't really remember any of the songs. I hope you see like more of our. Obviously, like I've just seen her in Endgame where she just sort of fucks off and then comes back like just for a bit, or Well, have you seen that? It was a couple of weeks ago. There was a clip doing the rounds where she was like, I can't remember. She was on like red carpet somewhere, and someone said like, "Oh, when are you going to play Captain Marvel again?" And she just went like, "Does anyone want me to?" No one's asked. No one's. Oh, yeah. Like it's kind of sad. Yeah, that's really awful. Because I think she's brilliant. Okay, right. So. I suppose before we get to Howard the Duck, because James has not seen, we'll get to that.
Chomping at a bit for that.
I think I'd better quickly talk about, because I've already mentioned that I've seen the 3 series before Black Widow. So my next call is going to be on Black Widow, but I have seen WandaVision. I thought was excellent. I was like blown away by how differently I saw everything, having seen everything up to that point. Because I mean, because it staggers me when you mentioned that like you'd watched a bit of it before. I saw like 4 episodes of it because you guys were like raving about it, and I thought, well, yeah, but we'd never have told you to watch it. No, absolutely not. No, but you said it was so interesting and different and doing new things, which it is, right? This isn't a criticism of you at all. So I thought, I'll give that a go. I had no idea that it was like linked in with the films. What was crazy is that when I was going through the films, I was like, Wanda is in this, and especially because she has such a strong American accent in the TV show. Yeah.
Okay, can I?
Go on, Matt.
It's a totally kind of tangent thing. James, I don't know how you didn't kind of correct David. Maybe this is me being harsh, but it's WandaVision, not WandaVision, David, right?
Oh my God! Matt,
every
you
time,
said right. Last time we had you on. Last time we had you on one of these, it was Star Calls, and you were like, "You do know it's Han Solo and not, and you do know it's Jedi's and not Jedi." So, do you just come on the show and just like have a fucking pop? You are
basically, yeah. It's like it's not Wanda. It's not like Wonder Woman. It's Wanda, as in the name Wanda.
I mean, it's such a slight difference that I don't think it matters. Do you know what you are? You're like, one of the. You know how recently on our main show. On our main show, the computer game show, for some reason, we've been getting abuse just fired at us like on an almost daily basis. You're one of those people, aren't you?
We've been holding back out of decency because it wouldn't be fair for us to pile on with the listeners.
You're one of those people.
The other thing, the whole like, oh yeah, she starts off with this one accent and then goes gradually more American. Yeah, because she leaves Sokovia and hangs out with Americans for years.
Hold on,
she loses her accent over time.
No fucking way do you get away with that, Sean? Because she does.
What? That's the story.
No,
that's literally what happens, Dave.
She doesn't just slowly get an American accent over time. It is like it's ridiculously different. She's not even got a hint of that accent by the time we get to.
Why? What are the rules? It's what she has to. She's eternally condemned to have a trace of original
I think you are absolutely apologising for that. It's outrageous how much that changes.
Why is that outrageous?
Accent.
You adopt the accent of places you move to.
Not that perfectly. It doesn't. I mean, Chen's been living in the UK. She lived there for like 12 years or so, and she still. I mean, she sounds. I think she sounds.
Yeah, but that's completely anecdotal. What does that have to do with anything?
It's what everybody I've ever met, Sean, that's from different communities that have ever come over. It's like, yeah.
Sean. Bearing in mind, we also find out that she learns to speak English from like watching loads of American films and stuff as well.
James, I'm finding out a lot about Matt and Sean today. I'm finding out that Sean is an
Are you finding out that you got loads of things wrong? Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Look, listen to them. They're like two little internet forum people,
James,
aren't they?
I can't believe, James, you didn't correct him not once. Like, he nipped in the bud. That's why it would have been fixed. Like, 25 episodes later.
Okay, what was he saying?
He was saying, like, WandaVision. Like, she's Wonder Woman rather than Wanda, her name.
Dave, say it, please.
WandaVision.
Yeah, that is wrong, Dave.
I don't.
Yeah, but,
I don't care though. It's only.
I'm
It's
not
only
having
the.
a go.
It's
I'm
only
not
the.
having a go.
Well, it sounds like you're having a go.
No, I was having to go about
You're having a go. Anyway, I thought the series was brilliant. I loved how I thought it was really interesting. I loved the overall theme and the sort of the subjects it was touching on by the end of it. I thought overprotection and grief and everything. That last episode was absolutely fantastic. Like I really liked it. Here's one criticism I've got of it and why it is
one criticism.
It's
criticism.
Oh my god, these can we hold on.
Listen, you made me watch Howard the Duck, so
this is what you get.
One sec. I've just removed them from the call. I think out of the I better tell them. I better let them know that they can come back in. I better let them know. I'm legit.
What happened? I think the internet was dodgy.
Yeah, no, I just booted you out of the fucking call. You were getting on my nerves.
What's going on?
I just booted you out of the call. I was getting wound up with you. I was fed up.
I know you did, because it came up with the thing saying you've been booted out of the call.
Does it really?
Like a sad face on it.
Came up saying Dave can't hack it. He's been rattled.
Yeah.
I just look, Matt. I deal with internet trolls on a daily basis. I don't need my two mates turning into trolls. I don't need two trolls as friends. All right.
This is not trolling.
You're a troll. You're a hater.
Dave, we're your friends because we're the only people willing to be this honest with you.
That's what a troll would say. Anyway,
it's WandaVision.
I would say
it's a stunning show.
I would say
really
it's
good.
like my second. So I've seen 3 of the series. It's my second favourite. And I think the problem that I had with it is once we'd worked out the TV stuff, right, and what she was doing, don't do another 2 episodes where it's parodying TV shows. Like I was like, but we know it now, so you don't need to do. Why am I seeing a scene where they're parodying a 90s comedy? We didn't need to see that because we get it. Like, this is just all
like
a waste.
The whole. I don't know if you felt the same, that when she's fighting at the end with the other witch whose name I've forgotten.
Agatha.
Thank you. She's brilliant.
That was like, I was like, oh, this is like the most MCU it's been so far, and also it's the least interesting.
I think
it's fine, served the purpose, but
I think it's setting something up. Well, I had the feeling it was setting something up. So and pretty much everyone goes, oh, you got to see that before you see the new Doctor Strange. So I'm assuming the Scarlet Witch is in it, and I'm assuming the Scarlet Witch is a known thing.
Yeah, it's a very known thing.
Right, so it's from comics, right?
Yeah.
And is the Scarlet Witch always been Wanda?
Right. Okay, are we going to get into this now? Or
No, I mean, it's the only time we're going to talk about it, really.
It's a question he's asking now, so...
So, as far as I remember, no, there has been others as well.
Right.
There have been Scarlet Witch as well. But
Okay.
she is in this case.
Right, okay. Why did you talk that up like you were going to speak for about an hour?
No, because
it was the most simple answer.
I wasn't sure if we were going to do that for the Doctor Strange thing or what was going to happen with
we'll
that.
get to Doctor Strange.
Also, I'm covering my back because I don't want to have to edit that tweet.
I'm not confident. I am not confident. So yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it could have been cut down a few episodes, simply because there was I loved the parody stuff in say the first 3 episodes, and then once we'd worked out what was going on, I was like, can you stop the parodying, because it's irrelevant now. It's irrelevant. It's not mysterious. It's just actually a bit annoying.
It's like it thematically still made sense. It just wasn't a twist anymore.
It wasn't
It was
offering
just,
anything. I thought it was a little bit bloated because of that. I think that had a group of writers excited that they could parody, which they do an excellent job of parodying all these eras of comedies, right? But they got overexcited and they were like, well, but we got to do the 90s and we got to do the early noughties, And it's like, no, you didn't have to do that. Just forget it, move on.
I still appreciated the kind of, the nice touches and the fact it felt like such a 90s show, and I still appreciate that. I do see what you mean.
You can appreciate it. You can appreciate it, and you look at it and you go, oh my God, they've nailed that feeling. But why am I watching half an hour of someone parodying a 90s show? Whereas before, it was like, why are they parodying this?
Yeah.
And what is the relevance? Now it's like, no, I'm now just watching a sketch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, okay. Right.
This made me really care for these characters. I had obviously known about those characters. I can't remember what films I've seen them in, but I knew of them, but I didn't really feel much for them. But yeah, in just a few short episodes, absolutely loved these characters and excited to see more.
Because they are great. I felt like from the films, I still didn't really get what Vision's deal was.
Okay, so the introduction of Vision in Ultron is terrible, I think.
Yeah.
All of it, because it was like everything was a little bit grounded, like up until that point, and he was the first superhero where you were like, oh, you could just beat everything. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and it was like a little bit like, oh, it's a weird body. They didn't really explain the body that well, I don't think. So it was a little bit striking. Like, where's this guy come from? And why is he not just taking over the world now?
And is it all right that Wanda fancies him?
We talk about that later on, don't we, James? We talk about it, don't we, James?
I think we do.
Why have you loved it? Why have you fallen in love with an AI?
So why not? It's
what's wrong with that?
It's like falling in love with Siri.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Returning to my original question.
So that was that.
Can I just make a correction before we move on?
Oh, here we go.
So it turns out that Wanda has always been the Scarlet Witch. No one else has.
Brilliant.
Okay.
No. The reason
in James's defense, it's very much implied that it's like a title that's sort of passed between people, isn't it? Like,
it's also because but you see, the thing is with this, right? And I'm gonna talk about this now because this is really irritating, right? Is that it's really difficult to pin down a lot of this stuff because there's been so many comics and there's been so many reboots and there's been so many changes over 50 years or even longer than that anybody asks you a question like that, it's like, well, maybe that did
maybe
Yes. Do you know what's great? I'm not aware of that. If people that listen to these calls, this is the first one that we're recording deep into the series. So as we're recording, the last episode to go out to everybody was the Age of Ultron one. So we have been getting the criticism. So now you're gonna notice such a sudden shift in tone when we're talking about these films now, because James is going to be on edge about what he's saying, even way more. Because before he was like, this recording ain't coming out for 6 months, I'm all right. And now we are getting pummeled by people just going, I can't believe, what was it? The Thor losing his hand and him growing it back. That was Loki, you idiots. I don't remember that. Okay, so then I moved on to Captain America the Winter Soldier, which I genuinely think is awful. I thought it was boring. I thought it was dull. I didn't believe the relationship. And more importantly, where it ended up felt completely separated from everything it was saying up until that point, right?
So, are you talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Oh, that's the one. What did I say?
You say Captain America Winter Soldier.
Right, okay. Well, I mean,
to be fair, you could.
I'll tell you what, I ain't wrong, am I?
You could have been talking about the film, to be fair.
Oh my God, there's a film.
There's something really.
Sorry, no. I mean, you could have been talking about Captain America.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, sorry. What was that, James?
No, I was going to say, you see, the series, it had an interesting premise, and especially the idea of, what does it mean to be Captain America?
That was great.
And that kind of thing. But then they kind of dropped it, didn't they?
Well, here's the thing, right? It wasn't a good... this wouldn't make it a good series, because I don't think it was a good series. It had some interesting ideas. I like the fact that the bad guys in it were like, oh, I actually kind of agree with these ones. Like, hey, let's not have barriers and just live on a planet together. Why have we got separate countries and stuff? Yeah, why have we got separate countries? Why are they talking about them as if they're awful people? They say, apart from the murders, they've got some interesting ideas. Bring them to the table. Yeah, there was. I laughed at how many times they said super soldier, because it reminded me of that episode of Extras where
Super Army Soldiers.
Yeah, Super Army Soldiers. Like, I think they say Super Army Soldiers at some point as well, and I was pissing myself. It's it's such a shit thing to say. I wish they come up with a different name for that serum. Like, they come up with a name for the serum that they use and we get used to. Like, oh, it's the what's it serum, whatever. But calling it the super soldier serum, it was like, oh, come off
Triple S, baby.
Yeah. It seemed to be building up to the Falcon rejecting the role of Captain America, which would have made so much sense. And at the end of it, he goes, no, I am going to be Captain America. Why? Because I am. But what about all the stuff about what America represents and the racism and stuff that's been linked to Captain America in the past and, you know, the origins of it and how it's controversial because...
people that are experimented on.
Oh,
the whole thing.
Yeah. You've been through this whole journey and every episode there's at least one thing to say, don't be Captain America. It goes against your beliefs. And then he goes, I'll be him. And it was like, are you? Yeah. And then it ends on a boat. Like, I'm sitting there just going, so what was the point in the previous episodes then if he's just going to pick it up? And there was all that stuff with Isaiah Bradley, the guy that was also given the soldier serum at the same time as Captain America, but went on to be arrested for 30 years. So there was all that stuff where he taught Falcon about how bad the whole idea of Captain America is and how badly he was treated, blah, blah, blah. The most insulting scene in this whole series is at the end where Falcon goes, yeah, I'll be Captain America. And it shows him in a bar watching Falcon coming out as Captain America and smiling. And I thought, why is he all right with it now?
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, I haven't seen the show. Is it supposed to be that like he's like reclaiming it?
Yeah,
that's kind of the idea, but that happens right at the end.
Right.
And instead of like there being some sort of explanation as to why he's shunning all of the negativity around Captain America up to that point. Also, they got Harry Kane to play the new Captain America, and I could not take my eyes off that. That was unbelievable. It just looked like Harry Kane, who's running around like Harry Kane.
I did enjoy that character though.
How shit he was.
No, it was good. I enjoyed that. Like that whole thing about how he was just like trying to be something that he clearly wasn't, and then just ended up being bad.
I bet you were fuming sitting there though, like you can't replace my Captain America.
Exactly. I was just thinking, he's not Cap.
Did you feel guilty about liking Captain America so much because you know the whole series was based around how awful he was?
In retrospect, yes.
So the less said about that, the better. It just wasn't a very good series.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one of the few I've not seen, and no one has been like, oh no, you should totally watch it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, Drew and I started watching it, the first 3 episodes, and we're like, I don't think we can be bothered to carry on.
Yeah, so you made the right decision. Loki, on the other hand, absolute genius from start to finish. I thought it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I loved how... I mean, Loki as a character is absolutely fantastic. I thought Owen Wilson, it's the best I've seen him in anything. Yeah. I thought the themes, the whole idea of the show is everyone trying to screw over everyone, you know, and try and trick each other. That, you know, forget the amount of Lokis that were in it, but every other character in it was all trying to trick everyone. That's the whole thing all the way through the series.
Still the absolutely incredible character.
Yep.
Oh, just so good. I love the fact that they decided to make them a romantic couple. I mean, I've had problems with how many romantic couples have been forced in this, but the idea that the only person Loki could truly love is a version of himself is so perfect that it's just brilliant.
Because it's fascinating because obviously through the films we sort of become aware that he's gone through a bit of a journey, but it's not entirely clear like how or why. and it's like, oh yeah, it all just sort of happened in this one sort of pocket of time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and all of that's all of that's bullshit as well. Like all of it is bullshit. The whole, everything that comes out of Loki's mouth, whatever Loki is bullshit. Everything he's being told is bullshit. Everything he's meeting and saying. That whole standoff scene with the guy at the end, where you're like, he's probably bullshitting about everything.
He's incredible. The guy at the end,
really good.
I forgot his proper title, but really fucking good. Hell, what a performance!
Yeah.
Also, we're fully spoiling stuff, right?
Well, yeah.
So, is it just me, or does that show imply that Loki didn't actually die at Thanos' hand in Endgame?
Yeah, it's confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's another
Endgame, Infinity War, one or the other. Infinity War. Sorry.
Infinity War. Yeah. It's confusing, isn't it?
He certainly is told during the show Loki how he could survive that.
Yeah.
By another Loki.
Yep.
So I thought that was an interesting sort of...
Well, we know there's a second series coming, so...
Yeah.
I'm sure it will delve into that more. But I love the whole, splintering off from scenes we'd already seen. I love all that stuff. So, Loki sort of just... I think... WandaVision was good, but it felt so separate to the MCU, really. I felt that the fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier was terrible. And then I thought Loki sort of brought us back into it again, and we were like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, this is brilliant. It really explores the idea of the timelines and all that sort of stuff. But can we trust anything that was said in that? Probably not. Which is why it's so genius, really, because they don't have to tie any of the films to this, because
it's all in
there's so much bullshit in it that none of it really matters.
Once again, what I loved, I recently, I played Control, the game in the last couple of years, and this feels very Control in the architecture or the style, kind of retro futuristic, like is it 60s or 70s or whatever, but also incredibly modern or futuristic.
It's like the sort of
look. I love the look of the location or the main kind of office, whatever you want to call it.
And it's like the sort of paraphernalia around the office, like the little posters and stuff that are obviously describing these like mind-bending phenomena, but in this sort of, like say, this sort of cheerful 60s 70s style. Really nice.
I absolutely loved it. My favourite thing, my favourite idea from that series is where you could hide from the time police. The if you go back in time, anything you do will cause a splinter, and that's how they can find exactly where you are and at what time. Whereas if you do it just before an apocalypse is happening, no one's there to remember. You will have no impact on the future. I was like, that is so clever. Like, I love that idea.
It's like you probably could pick holes in it. Like, but what if your atoms being there subtly changed it?
Someone finds your skeleton.
Exactly, but it's like it's fun and interesting enough that it's like, don't do that, don't think about it too much. Do you know what I mean?
It's fun to pick holes, but ultimately, really, I don't let you. And I know that we're going to get tweets going, well, actually, in episode 14 of the Glacier Ray that was on Sky back in 1973, that had the same concept. Actually, Sky wasn't available in 1973. That's what I say to that.
Yeah, but again, just like WandaVision, this made me absolutely fall in love with Loki, a character again. I thought, Loki's whatever, but this makes me excited for obviously season 2. But anything else, the characters in, I thought Tom Hiddleston was excellent. I love the relationship between him and Sylvie. It's easily my favourite kind of series they've done. One of my favourite MCU things they've ever done. I just loved it from start to finish.
Well, James, we've always loved Loki, didn't we? We've always loved Loki, haven't we, James?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Even the Dark World was like my...
He was the only thing good in that film in that absolute terrible film.
Like the fact that you forget that he is basically a mass murderer.
I love the fact that just every opportunity tries to screw Thor over. I thought that was so funny throughout the films. Like the moment you think, they've made a connect. He's tried to stab him. It's just like, we loved it. Right. But we're not here to talk about the series, are we?
No.
We're here to talk about the 1986 film presented by George Lucas, of all people.
It definitely is.
We're here to talk about Howard the Duck. Now, firstly, firstly, let's talk about our history. I remember seeing Howard the Duck loads when I was a kid, probably up until I was about 10. Yes.
Fuck.
I know.
I've got questions.
Watching it now.
I got concerns.
Watching it now, and when I was looking up Howard the Duck, I remembered that Harry should absolutely not be watching Howard the Duck, like, because there was all these articles about how outrageous it is. So I was like, Harry, you're not watching this, and he was fine with that. So Matt, had you seen it as a kid?
No, I'd
First
heard
time?
of it. You know, when you mentioned Howard the Duck, I recognised that I'd heard that thing before, whatever it was. Hadn't seen it, and
I had no idea it was part of Marvel. I had no idea it was a comic book.
no idea for that.
I only just found that out when we were recording these. Sean, do you remember this film?
But you see, it's really weird. So I don't remember the film. I don't remember anything other than when he had that cameo in Guardians.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's Howard the Duck," but I could not. Gun to my head, I could not tell you how I knew that.
Well, that's it. I didn't know it was Howard the Duck because
It's weird as well because it's a different design.
Yeah,
it's the design from
completely
the comic
different.
books,
Yeah.
not from.
that's so. I didn't know it was a comic book. And when we talk about it on the call, James, you're like, "No, that is Howard the Duck," and I'm going, "But it's not. It doesn't look like Howard the Duck." And I had no idea that there was a comic book that looked like the one in the MCU, but looked nothing like the film that I'd seen when I was a kid. You know. So James, you'd never seen this film?
No, I mean, I knew again, a bit like everyone else. I guess I knew of it, but I'd never. It was just one of those films that I'd always heard. Steer clear of that one.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
So I don't know the exact figures, but I believe it had a budget of around $40 million. There's some discrepancies about how much it took, but certainly in the initial box office, I think it took about $1 million. It was a huge bomb. It went on to make money, or at least make the money back eventually. But
yeah, on Rotten Tomatoes, it says here that gross in the USA was $15 million.
Right, so yeah, but worldwide, I think it went on to make its money back. It was a strange project. No one could work out why they chose Howard the Duck out of all the Marvel characters to make a film of it. It resulted in two producers having a fist fight, apparently, over who greenlit this film after it had come out. That's I don't know how true that is, but that's the story.
As in they both wanted credit, or they were both trying to get the names off
they
it?
both did not want credit. And the other thing that was fascinating is they said it had the weirdest marketing building up to a film ever, because seeing Howard the Duck, they tried to make like some sort of mystery. So all the trailers, Howard the Duck's not in it. None of none of posters, anything like that. You didn't see Howard the Duck until you went to the cinema and watched Howard the Duck, and it turns out no one wanted to see what it looked like.
I think that's great.
Because even that
bloody shock. Like, who the hell is this character?
Because even that the intro where it's in his apartment, it avoids showing his face for a little while, doesn't it? And I was like, why are they doing this? Surely there's zero mystery to this, but I guess that was the intention.
That was the reason, yeah. So, James, it's your turn to go through notes this time. I can't wait to find out what you thought of Howard the Duck. And make no mistake, I don't have fond memories of this film. I just remember seeing it loads when I was a kid.
Sorry.
Well, so am I. I'm starting to think, what the fuck were my parents doing?
I haven't seen it. That is shocking.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't see Star Wars or anything like that, but you watched this.
But you did.
James,
I was thinking this.
James, when I watched this film, that's the first thing I thought about. Why the fuck were my parents showing me this and not Star Wars? And here's the only thing that I can think of. This must have been on TV, and they must have filmed it, like taped it on VHS, and that's just what they put on. I'm almost certain that's probably how I ended up watching this loads when I was a kid. And there's one scene in this that really sticks out in my head, like
one scene.
I think I know.
No. There's one particular scene that we'll get to it and I'll point it out at the time. But I was like, I remember this word for word, this bit. Like, I really remember this, but there's huge chunks of it that I just completely forgot. So it's really weird going back and watching this. But it's not about me, it's about you. Yeah, let's go through your notes.
I watched this with Chen. She sat down and watched this with me because I just wanted to watch it with somebody, but I didn't want to watch it with the kids after the morning.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine watching it with someone would make it easier.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Just laugh at
There
it.
was a lot of anger. As well.
Really?
I'll get to that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so the first thing I've got so we're straight in with some really weird posters with ducks on them. And then, so like everything, they've just like changed it so it's like the ducks.
Yeah,
Why-
it's our world, but they're ducks. That
They
was
love,
what
they
were going
love
for.
that, don't they? They clearly had like way too many ideas for that one gag, and we're just like, it's like,
Well, they
why
go
was
back
it-
and forth on the rules though, because
I know it does.
he doesn't
I
know Cleveland, but he refers to like Boston and stuff like that in
Yeah.
it, doesn't he? Like as if it's
yeah.
just, it's
Also-
like what?
It's not clear. I mean, it is clear because it becomes apparent later. This isn't a parallel world thing either. This is
yeah, it's just another planet.
Yeah, it's
just
another
another
planet.
planet.
Yeah.
So why has another planet developed identically to Earth? I mean, I'm aware, but we're just with ducks. I'm aware that as somebody that really likes Star Trek, this does happen in those series, but they're generally the worst ones.
Yeah, why does he have a planet? Have a shop called Blooming Ducks or Blooming
Exactly.
Fields or whatever
Right.
it is.
Okay.
But also, why? What? Yeah, exactly. Why has everything got duck on it? Like you got like there was the credit card, weren't there? It was like, what was it called? Like it was like
Master.
Mallard card.
It's like a blooming human.
Exactly. It's like, well, don't do that. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
But then
I mean,
also-
all I will say to that, James, is pick your fucking battles, son. There's
Yeah, it's going to be a long night.
it's going to be a long night if you.
no, but also, why breeders of the Lost Ark? I don't get that.
Oh, there's loads of stuff where it seems to forget that it's a duck.
Yeah.
Oh, but we'll get to that. Okay, right, sure.
So I got that, and then we've got like then I've just written down. I got Willy Waddle. Are these all duck things? So, and
Are these
so hang
all duck
on.
things? How long
Yeah.
did it take you to work that out, James?
No. Just let me continue here. Okay?
Things.
So hang on. Are everyone
Spotting a
ducks?
theme here, guys.
Duck thing. No, right, I don't-
Hold on a minute.
Hang on. The duck. There's another one.
God.
3 ducks now. Wait, James.
So hang on. Are everyone ducks? The adverts of the ducks. Is everything a duck?
James.
And then I've written down, what are the chances of a parallel world with everything being the same but just ducks? And then I've got play duck, got a laugh from Chen. She thought that was funny.
Oh, well, when he gets the Playboy out.
Yeah, and it's play duck. Yeah. And then
Yeah, it's a bit weird. That was a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Just
It was, especially when he pulls it out and he's just like not the magazine and just like makes it like larger and stuff and it's very strange.
makes it
And especially because
larger.
at that point we've already
What?
deduced that he's a piece of shit, right? Because he's got that postcard from one woman and then the voicemail from another.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's a love rat.
He is.
Or
He's,
they might call it
he's a love duck.
Yeah.
So
God.
then I've got Howard gets sucked out of his world, although I'm not sure if this is a parallel thing or a different planet. And then
planet.
so he gets sucked through the wall, and then you get this like montage of him like getting smashed through everything, and then you see one of the weirdest things that I've ever seen in a film. I think where you've got a duck sitting in the bath.
Yep.
With boobs out, and it looks like she's touching herself in the bath.
Right,
honestly.
she is absolutely not touching herself. I
It
don't
looks
know
like
where
she
you.
is.
I missed that. I didn't pick up on that.
It
It's
looks like
wishful
she is.
thinking, I think.
You saw the duck boobies, right?
I saw
Yeah.
them.
I mean, that was weird enough. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way she's touching. She's like washing herself. I think washing her back.
washing.
No. There was a lot of movement going on down
Wasn't
there.
she singing a song, isn't she?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
James.
Have a look back. Just
Did
have a
you
look.
get carried
I don't
away?
want to.
Oh, James, you're going to get another pin tweet ready to go now. She was not touching herself.
I think you need to look back, Matt, and have a look.
Well, I don't want to.
How many times have you looked back, James?
I didn't have to. It just seared into my
Ruined the
my
VHS.
brain. Seeing it.
I just
Anyway,
think about it every night.
but this,
I mean-
this is the other thing that I was confused about, though, because at the start of the film, I thought that Howard, because I didn't know anything about this film at all, and I thought what it was that he was the star of all the films, or something like that, or he was a superhero or something.
Oh, right,
I had
yeah.
No idea.
Oh,
what
no,
it
no.
was at all.
There was just various different ducks. Here's something, though, James. You said, is it a different planet or is it another dimension?
Yeah.
I thought the fact that it showed 2 moons at the start was indication that he was on a different planet.
That's the thing,
Tatooine,
because in fact, Chen actually said, "Why are there 2 moons?" Like right at the beginning.
Because they're on a
And-
different planet.
Well, yeah, I know, but then is that a different planet or is that a multiverse thing?
Well, it's
or
all he
is it
did on
just,
fucking Star Wars, wasn't it? That could have just been a normal desert, but it was two moons. So it was like, okay,
Bloody loves
all right.
2 moons, George
Fucking
Lucas.
loves that. Yeah, that must have been like
Doesn't.
that must have been his only input.
Yeah.
That and the duck boobs.
2
Yeah.
moons.
I think they get away with a different planet thing because of the 2 moons, right? And I did write down in my notes what the fuck duck boobs what. I don't remember that at all. So here's the thing. I don't think I remember that because I think my parents taped it off the telly, and I bet that was cut out.
Probably, yeah.
Well, like, I was going to say, like, I know we were all laughing at Dave having watched this as a child, but actually, you could quite easily cut it to make it suitable for children, which I
Yes.
think is what makes some of the adult stuff so incongruous with
they
everything
left
else.
in him being a bigot all the time. They left
Well,
it.
yeah.
They left all that in.
Perhaps the
so much
more
in this film.
malicious,
Chem
more
was
toxic
furious.
element.
But yeah,
throughout.
they definitely took out the duck boobs. Because I watched that and I was just like, what the fuck? I don't remember this being in it. But imagine going to cinema and just, okay, it's duck boobs. What are they aiming for
David,
with this film?
Watching it at home, I was shocked. I was like, this, I feel unwell already.
Yeah, it gets
Just
worse.
started.
It gets worse.
It did get worse,
Yeah.
but that time I was
Yeah.
like, this is too much. What is this film?
Go on then, James.
Okay, so he goes smashing through all this stuff, and then he lands on Earth, which I'm assuming it's Earth. I mean, I've got written down here, I said, how did Howard not die from that fall? It's a long way down. And then it's like, then I've got biker people, question mark. This reminds me of the Super Mario Brothers film. Star Wars was
It's
a fluke.
totally Super Mario Brothers, isn't it? But did
I miss something? You know, he kind of looks at the gang and then just says, like, oh, I'm a bad duck.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
I don't
feel
think
like
you missed anything there. It's just weird.
Okay,
It's
just weird.
really-
Right, cool.
Also, James, he survived because he jumped out at the right time.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Totally
Wait,
makes sense.
yeah, but you didn't. Did you pick up on what the bikers had on their tops?
No,
Oh, no.
Satan sluts.
Right.
What?
I know. It's so weird. It's so weird. They make so many weird.
Okay, so then chaos ensues as Howard tries to navigate what I assume is supposed to be 1980s Earth. And then you get this bit
Well,
where
current age Earth, actually, James. I mean, this was set in
modern day.
Yeah, it was modern day back then.
But then there's this weird bit where he accidentally touches a couple who are like all over each other, right? And then the guy hits him with a sign, right? Why was the guy carrying that around?
Well, did you see what the sign said on it?
No, what did it say?
Well, it just said for rent.
Where did you get that from?
Oh yeah, no idea. Bizarre.
That's
And
just
then I
the
just
case.
said, is this supposed to be our Earth? Because I don't think anywhere has ever looked like this ever.
No,
Like,
it's Biff Tannen's future, isn't it? That's
is,
what
yeah.
the place looked like. It looked
It's
like
that
Biff
and
had
Super
taken
Mario
over.
Brothers, like the
Yeah,
first film.
yeah.
It's a lot like that.
I said that there's a BDSM gang that sort of just turn up and try and beat him up. It's so weird. Go on.
Then you got the singer getting attacked, and there's kind of like an attempted rape going on here.
Yeah.
but with like acting that's from like a children's TV series.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
very odd. And then I've got Howard the Master of Quack Fu kicks ass. Leah Thompson is still not that bothered being saved by a talking duck.
Yeah, well, this is right. Okay, so two things here, right? Like, firstly, you know the bit where he grabs hold of that guy's hand and he goes, "You're breaking my fingers," like that.
Yeah.
That stuck with me. When he said that, I was like, I had that feeling in my hand that I had when I was a kid, where it was like, you could just break someone's fingers like that. That's horrible. So I remember like that. I got a flashback of that. That freaked me out. But the what was the other thing you just said about she wasn't freaked out by the duck. It is so bizarre how they pick some people that see the duck talking and go, okay, and
whatever.
and some people scream and run away. Like it's totally, it does not work. There's no consistency.
It's almost as if they just choose one or the other based on what services the plot, isn't it?
Well, this is it, Sean, right? And sorry to jump ahead, but when she takes him to the lab, they make this whole thing about keeping him in the bag so no one can see him.
Yeah.
And then when they walk out, he's just walking out. Like, it was like, what was the point in the bag then? It's so weird.
Jumping ahead here.
Go on.
Jumping ahead.
Sorry.
Okay. And then I've got now she's taking him in. Chen just asked if the acting was like 80s porn. It's just not natural.
Yeah,
and
it's
really
bad, and the script is terrible as well. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Well, she has taken him because he's got nowhere to go and it's raining.
Yeah, but what I've put is the dialogue is so odd. Why is Howard acting like such a dick all the time? Like, and also I couldn't believe in this scene, because it's pissing down with rain, I can't believe they didn't say nice weather for ducks at any point.
I mean, that's one of the few quips they didn't say.
Yeah, but how do you not say that at that bit? Like, surely that's the perfect. Is that a British thing? Nice weather for ducks.
Probably.
It probably is, right?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Shame.
So yeah, I mean, like she was basically getting sexually assaulted, and then a duck came and saved her, and it was just like, oh, whatever, the duck's here. I mean, like, even the two dudes weren't like, what the, Yeah. They were a bit freaked out, but
when he said, space rabies, well, okay, but we don't know you're from space.
Yeah.
He hasn't got like any superpowers or anything, right?
No,
he's just he's got quack foo.
Shit out of him
because he knows quack foo.
He's a duck. They're probably like, what the hell is this? And also, he's quack foo master.
Quack foo.
Okay. So
have you ever fought someone against? Have you fought against quack foo, James?
Not recently.
Do you know what annoys me, James? Is that you always pick these films apart for no reason. You pick up you focus on the most ridiculous thing and then bang on about it for the whole call. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Those quack foo, move on.
So Leah Thompson takes him back to his apartment.
What does he do when he walks in, James?
Well, he asks for a beer, doesn't he?
He just slates the place.
Yeah, he just says this is horrible.
This is the biggest problem with this film is that he's got zero redeeming qualities. Like, you don't want him to win. He's a fucking arsehole, this guy. Yeah, he's a quacking arsehole.
It's like, it should, obviously, because typically films like this, the arc is that, like, he's kind of a lovable arsehole until 3/4 of the way in, then he really fucks up, and then there's a redemption at the end. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, he's just a total fucker. Like, throughout the whole film. Off the bat.
Yeah. Why anyone would want to help him is absolutely beyond me. And literally, he's just giving her the puppy eyes. Oh, I've got nowhere to stay. So she goes, you can stay at mine. He walks in, he goes, what a shithole. Like, fuck you.
And then they have this whole conversation about like his background and everything. And then we find out that Hal was educated at the University of Life. And then like Leah Thompson, she's got it all worked out. And he's basically like, he's sold out. And that he's, whatever. But then it's like, I mean, who is this? I've written down, who is this film for? And then Chen said, is she sexually attracted to the duck? The way she licked her lips before she touched him.
Okay. Yeah.
100%.
Ducky.
So then he's laying down on the thing, and then she's like going through his wallet or whatever thing. And I've got down here, why is everything a pun on the word duck? Humans don't do that. We've been through that.
So we're saying it's okay to just go through someone's wallet when they're asleep now.
Well, that was also weird. But then it also brings up one of the weirdest, most horrible things I think I've seen in the film, where she finds a duck condom. And what is that for? Well, who is this film for?
Well, and especially like,
why is it unwrapped?
It's unwrapped. It just looks like dusty. Yeah.
And also, but then she seems excited by it.
She thinks at best, she thinks it's like charming or funny.
No, she thinks it's, Howard, you dirty little dog. Like, honestly, I think the joke is that he isn't actually like got all these women, that he's got a dusty condom that he doesn't use, right? But the problem is, we'd already seen at the start of and there was a photo of him with women hanging off him in the thing, so it didn't work.
No,
it just looked like he didn't use them.
One of the worst things I've ever seen. I felt well anyway with the bathroom scene, and then her getting attacked, and I was like a dusty condom. Like, you really are. I was so close to stopping at that point. I felt unwell.
I mean, it was truly shocking. Like that bit. Like, I've not been shocked by a film for a long time where it's something like that.
Who sits down around a table and says? Then she goes through his wallet. Why? She just does. Why? Don't worry about it. We get all these funny, like I thought, okay, good gag. She pulls out the money, and there's it's a duck on there, not the president. It's he's got funny, like, he goes through a driving license. It's full of duck puns. Fine. Then he pulls out a condom, and then she puts it down. What? He pulls out a condom. Where's the pun? So these are all puns and jokes on the fact that his world's a lot like ours, but with ducks. Where's the pun with the condom? Just to, there isn't one. So why are we putting it in? Because sect. Okay, sure. Let's go with it. Is everyone all right with that?
Why wasn't it in a wrapper?
Yeah, if it was in a wrapper, they could have done a brand name. They could have done a pun, a duck pun. They love those.
Duck-X.
But instead, they had to get something which just looked the most disgusting thing you could imagine. It's just horrible.
Quacktraception. No?
Nice.
Nice. No, it's not really quick. Beak.
I think we peaked with Duck-X. That's closest you can get.
But even that doesn't really work. Go on.
Not really, but...
Okay, so then Troy has this idea.
We're putting more effort in than fucking they did.
So then she has this idea of going to see a scientist, and she's like dragging him around in a sack, like she's trying to find the shallow grave. That's what I've got written down here.
Yeah, in the back of the cab, I thought he was going to basically suffocate in that black bin bike.
No, she was for the holes.
Yeah, there were air holes.
But then also, why didn't the taxi driver care that was going on? It was just, that was very strange. And then he
looked back and sort of went, whoop. He did that a couple of times.
That taxi driver's seen a lot of stuff in the back of that cab. He's like, seen this last week.
Yeah, barely registered.
Yeah.
Duck in a sack. Yeah, it's fine. But then, so you meet the scientist who is really extremely annoying, like really incredibly annoying.
Also, the only other time I've seen him is as Andy Dupree in The Shawshank Redemption, which is a slightly different role. Joe said when Joe was watching it, she went, "Could you imagine if it was in the same universe?"
I'm hoping it is. That's
now we got locked up.
But then also, he says one of the weirdest lines in the film, where he's looking at Howard and then he just says, "Man's oldest fantasy." And you're like,
yeah.
In what way?
What?
How? Why? Why is this that?
Because I think I think what they were going for was that he was the missing link.
Well,
yeah, I guess.
Discovering an extraterrestrial, basically. That's what it was, right?
No, he because that's why he was talking about evolution and stuff. He thought it was the missing link.
He talked about that. He talked about that later, but this is right when he met him. He looked at him, like he had him down on that, like laying down on that chair, and he was like, "This is man's oldest fantasy." I'm thinking, what?
I will say this though. I will say this. This bit of the film wasn't terrible, and I'll tell you why. Howard mugging Phil off was actually quite funny at parts. Like him just like completely mugging him off, taking the piss out of him, ripping him to pieces. Right? I thought if it was 90 minutes of this, good. I could watch that because obviously Phil is the first character we've seen in this more annoying than the fucking duck. So if you find someone worse than the duck, get the duck to absolutely tear him a new one for 90 minutes. I'd watch that. I'd like that. Instead, it was for about 10 minutes and then it went back to just Howard the Duck being arseholes to good people.
So then we have like an explanation of like evolution, which we didn't need because it was pretty obvious. And then they walk out of the museum. I mean, I don't know why this is a scientist working in a museum because that doesn't work like that.
Well, he's not a scientist, is he?
No,
he's a lab assistant. That's the whole
research assistant. Yeah.
Yeah, but even so, he wouldn't be working in a museum like that. But anyway, he walks out and everyone's freaking out because there's a duck. But then she starts talking about her career and like how this was, and it was very strange. Like she was talking about what this was going to do for her career and everything. And then, I mean, at this point, Howard did have a point. Like, why does that matter? Like at this stage, it was
I put here, Howard and the woman have an argument for seemingly no reason, literally no build up to it. They start arguing as they come out, and they're like, fuck you," and then they go their separate ways. And it's like, okay.
And then you've got like, she breaks up with him basically and goes off, and then he's like, "Oh, I better go and get a job."
This is the worst. This is the worst.
Oh my god, this bit,
this whole scene.
No reason. Like the argument was because he was like, "Well, this dude's an absolute idiot," and then she was like, "I was trying to help you. I was like, "Well, this is no help. This isn't actually getting me back to my home planet." That's why
he's right.
Yeah, well, that's why they're arguing though, because he's like, "Why are you taking me to this absolute clown?"
I didn't have Matt down as the one to defend Howard the Duck. I don't know about you guys.
Big fan.
Like, what they're arguing because she took him to an absolute idiot in a museum.
So then he ends up at this job centre, and the person in the job centre doesn't seem to have any problem with the fact that he's a duck. And so even though I've got other people screaming and stuff, she doesn't care at all. It's fine. And then he ends up being sent to this place.
Hang on, we've skipped key aspects here. We're like, why is he Why is he checking out her bum when she's bending over, like getting his work forms?
Yeah, but that's just standard by this point.
Yeah, that's just normal Howard the Duck behaviour.
Twat.
Why does he? More importantly, why does he end up in a weird brothel?
I know. Well, that's the thing. So, and Chen, at this point, Chen said, "Why are there so many sexualized things?"
Oh my god, it's outrageous in this scene as well. There's a bit where they're blatantly just fucking in a pool.
Yeah, and then he falls in with them. And then you've got the whole thing. Because I've written this, Howard in the hot tub, the people are still going at it.
And then, okay, the scene is weird. It makes no sense. There's no reason why he's working in a brothel. And then the bit where the manager of the place, he gets his own back with the manager of the place by pushing him into a dirty pool.
I think it was a mud bath.
Especially
it was a mud bath.
And then he quits. Yeah. This is the point at which Chen said, so far this was written by a nerd who has never had sex. Everything is about sex. It's not relevant, but it's added to everything.
I put my notes say, Howard's now working in a brothel, it seems. Why is there so much sex in this? Then he quits. What was the point in that scene? It did nothing. It did nothing. There wasn't any gags in it, really. There wasn't any gags in it, was there?
No, not at all.
The gag was that he was working there. That was the gag.
Wow.
I mean, he gets...
Matt is increasingly sounding like he's defending this.
But this is it, though, isn't it? Like, because the gag is people falling into pools, which, if you're a child, might be funny.
But when you add people shagging...
How is that not funny at any age?
but when you add people shagging in there, the kids can't see it.
That amps it up. Yeah.
So bizarre. Could you imagine saying, I've got my first act ticket, I'm going to be in a major film? Yeah? Oh, just like a independent thing. No, a George Lucas film. The Star Wars guy? Yeah.
Well, wasn't the Star Wars guy at this point, was he?
Yes, he was, wasn't he?
No, this was... sorry, what am I talking about? Yeah, this is 80... Yeah, sorry, yeah.
78, wasn't it? Star Wars, the first Star Wars.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
He was the Star Wars guy.
Got the money to do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, this is what happens. So it says, I'm going to be in this film. It's George Lucas film. No fucking way. A new Star Wars film. No. It's a completely new project. Howard the Duck. What do you play? Just someone fucking in a swimming pool and then a duck falls in. Right, really? Yeah. Okay.
Which, by the way, freaked me out because obviously, obviously the guy playing Howard is wearing that mask and got chucked in a pool of water.
Yeah,
that must have been fucking horrible.
Yep.
Probably barely breathing that thing to begin with.
What do you mean mask?
It's not a real duck, Matt.
What?
Sorry, mate.
Not a real duck.
Okay, this changes the film completely.
I mean, to be fair,
the worst.
Pretty impressive animatronics, I thought. Given
the beak,
given that there's someone's head in there, and the stuff going on with the eyes and everything, surprisingly good. I thought.
It looked terrible, else. but like technically it worked quite well. Like it reminded me of if I knew what Howard the Duck looked like originally, I would have seen this and compared it to when Sonic was first revealed. Like the eyes just looked weird,
glassy eyes.
Well, it's not the eyes itself; it's around the eyes how the skin sort of faded into the white feathers. It was like, fucking bizarre.
Sorry, I was just double checking on Wikipedia, so this is what threw me because I was reading up on it. So So George Lucas originally proposed doing this in 1973 after he'd done American Graffiti.
Okay.
So this was what he really wanted to be doing when he was making Star Wars.
It can be about Howard the Duck. Go on, James.
Okay, so then there's this whole sequence where he realises that ducks are potentially an endangered species on Earth, and there's all talk on TV about duck shootings and all this kind of stuff.
Well, what they tried to go down the route of was that people eat duck, but in terms of things we eat, duck's not really high up there, is it? Especially in America.
No, I suppose not. Well,
so why was there 14 different adverts for eating duck on television?
They're trying to create some sense of peril so that you could get back with Leah Thompson again.
At this point, James, I'd written, Howard the Duck has zero personality.
See, and then also, so then we go back to her singing again.
Yeah.
It did feel like they were trying to start her singing career with this film because it was just constant, just here's her playing some terrible songs. And then So then Chen reckoned that the song that she was singing was about Howard, proving that she's attracted to him.
What was it called?
I don't remember.
I
But it was just
I fucked Ducks, wasn't it?
Fuck Doc. That was the other film she was in.
and then there's this whole thing with the manager, and now they're all just being sleazy and horrible. And then Howard tries to straighten them out. And then, like, I've got written here, why is he so confident? He's a tiny duck. Like, I don't understand.
Quack foo, James. We've been through this.
Quack foo.
Just pick him up and kick him in a bit.
Yeah, but they can't because of the quack foo. How many times they've explained this?
Okay, but then
This is more logical than the fragments going towards Tony Stark's heart.
Okay, but why was the band still playing despite all the fight and the commotion?
Because it's a
going
rough
on?
place, mate. Fights go on all the time.
Yeah, they sort of address that, right?
Professionals.
Yeah. You're
stop
way
the
off base here,
phone.
James. Don't.
Well, either way, he gets the. I mean, it's not.
Gets
You see, the thing is, right? You get this whole thing where he wants the money from the band's manager, right? I can't believe I'm talking about this. This is so ridiculous. Anyway, but then at the time, I'm thinking, okay, obviously he's going to give it to them. But then I thought, actually, maybe he won't because he's a dick.
He's a duck. Here's the thing about American films I've never understood. What is it with American films that are around this time period? What is the obsession with things sliding along a bar?
Why is that?
They love it.
Don't they?
What about the
They
kids?
did that in Superman 3 as well.
Oh,
Like, they love
it's
it.
in every single. I'm pretty sure it's in every single Back to the Future film. Drinks being slid across the bar, people being slid across the bar. It's like in loads of like westerns and stuff. It's a thing.
There's got to be a Wikipedia page about that somewhere. Like,
Films
people
with people sliding along a bar because Howard the Duck slides along a bar.
Speaking of westerns, did we all enjoy the Clint Eastwood reference of him lighting a match on his beak?
Yes, yeah,
was good.
yeah, it's good.
Like that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work in real life, of course, but never mind.
Credit where it's due.
I haven't tried it, to be fair.
Okay.
So then Howard goes and he meets the band, and then there's another bit which is that Chen maybe rewinds.
The worst line in the whole film. Are you about to mention the worst line in the whole film?
Sex appeal, like some guys have it and some guys don't, and then he touches one of the band members up.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck does that.
Yes.
Oh, I
He,
didn't
walks
know.
past
That's
her
not
and,
what
like,
I'm talking about. There's
like-
worse. There's worse.
Okay.
When Phil comes into the change room.
yeah, and then he says, "Sorry, I missed the show. I came to watch you get undressed, though."
Yeah. So
yeah.
sorry I missed the show, but I came to watch you undress.
Yeah.
That was like, what the fuck?
It's like, again, it's like, is that meant to be a joke?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the joke there? I'm a sex pest because he ends up. Then it sort of says he's dating one of them.
Oh yeah, he totally is.
Yeah,
He totally is, yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I've got no self-esteem," or something like that. And it was like, okay, what?
Oh yeah. Which day is that? I can't. Like, is it? I can't remember. Does it mean he's desperate or I am? Or I can't remember something like that.
No. She said something like, "Oh, I'm desperate," or something. Look how desperate! Something like that. And I'm like, this is weird. This is weird.
So then you got Leah Thompson taking Howard back to her house.
Oh my
again.
god, that's fair.
And this is one of the, again. This is
Oh my
another scene
God.
that Chen maybe rewinds because she was
Oh,
like,
no,
Chen
this
made
is so good.
she was
I'm
shocked.
learning so much about all you people. I'm learning Matt and Sean are trolls. Matt loved Howard the Duck and he's trying to defend it, and James is a duck pervert. That's what I'm working out today.
You have to watch
So
this
anyway-
twice. Well, the first time was enough. I'd never even want to think about the scene, let alone watch it a second time.
It's, No, not the whole thing, just the bit at the start, because this is what I've got down. I've got Leah Thompson takes Howard back home. She's loving him, playing some beats, and seems to be enjoying watching him move about. And then in capitals, what is she wearing?
Because she just walks out in her knickers, doesn't she?
And then Chen said, why is she wearing lingerie for the duck? Like, at this point. And then
She's just going to bed. She's
I was
just.
going to say, you could argue that's just how she sleeps, I guess. But
and then come on. And then you get then I've got
no, I mean, obviously what follows changes it, but initially,
Somewhat.
and then
Can I read you my note? Can I read you my note that I have written down at this bit? It appears the duck is going to have sex with the human.
I literally,
okay,
I was
can build
watching
on
this. I was watching this like during the day while I was supposed to be working. I literally just shouted out loud, "Is she going to fuck the duck?" I could not.
And then you realise you're actually on a Teams call.
So then we got this bit where he's ogling her as she gets onto the bed, And then Chen said to me, "This really is a male fantasy." And then I said, "It's not mine."
I don't think it is. I don't think any male's sitting there going, "Oh, yeah, duck." Do you know what I mean? I don't want to duck.
I think she meant. I don't think she meant as in the duck. I think she meant just as in like women and stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, she was a very attractive lady, but I don't want a duck involved at all.
No,
Thank you very much.
Then we've got now Howard is proposing having sex with Leah Thompson. She's really interested. I don't think she was just kidding. And then
that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it tried to do the whole calling the bluff thing, but then it doubles back on it, and they have a little kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But why did the scientist just walk into the apartment?
No idea.
And why is there then a silhouette of her going down on him?
She's not going down.
Wait, what? No, she kisses him on the beak.
She kisses him on the.
It looks like the silhouette looks like something else.
That's the silhouette of his beak, not his dick.
No.
What?
Oh my God, James!
On top, you haven't looked. Watch it back.
No, side to side.
James, I am now starting to realise that maybe you should watch this back and see how much of it is in your head. Because the duck is not touching himself in the bath with the boobs out.
She was 100%.
She's not going down on Howard the duck.
That's what it looked like.
No, he doesn't. She's just kissing him on the beak. She's giving him a good night kiss. Still weird.
That silhouette looked very odd. It looked very odd.
Sean, what are we going to do?
Just watch it.
I don't want to do any calls with him anymore, man. This is really, really weird, James.
Yeah.
Come on, this is a film that had a dirty grey condom in it. There's no way that...
Yeah.
I know, but on that bit, it was very clear what was happening.
I don't think
they had a dirty grey condom in it. They did not have a human giving a duck a BJ.
I'm not saying that's what she was doing.
This is a really blue episode,
like
isn't it? This is very...
I'm saying it looks like that from the silhouette.
Matt, can we put warnings
on... him on the beak.
Matt, can we put warnings on this one that this is an 18 plus podcast? This one.
Parental advisory.
It is bad.
Anyway,
Ducks may be
So now comes the science. Is
that what you say when you're no, never mind.
So now comes the science. So it did hit another planet. It's not a different universe. What are the chances
Oh my God!
of
How
everything
long
being the
did it
same
take
but
for
with
you
ducks?
to work this out?
No, I'm not saying that I just worked this out. I'm saying that's what they explained at this point in the film.
Well, they explained it a lot earlier, James.
But they also explained it again at this point.
Right,
of the film,
okay,
David.
fine.
And that's
this is them realising it, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so this is the bit where they explain the laser beam, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Right, okay.
So anyway,
yeah.
And then at this point, they've got a plan to send Howard home. Thank fuck, I've written here. And then Leah Thompson then gives him some Polaroids to remind him of her.
Yes.
That was odd.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then Chen said, he's like a cute, cuddly toy. Why is she sexually interested in him? I mean, she kept asking this the whole way through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I've written, what's worrying me now is that this isn't even halfway through at this point.
Yeah. I've put here, the acting here feels like it's in high school. So is this the bit where they get arrested, or is that later?
That's later.
Okay.
Because then they drive, because they're driving to the facility next, aren't they? I think. And Howard makes that weird comment about you're the one thing that's making it really hard to think about leaving.
To go home.
They've known each other for like 2 days. Yeah,
everyone's in view, tits.
They shared some moments. I mean, pretty obvious.
Yeah, but not the moments you're thinking.
No, not that, James. Stop thinking she did that to him.
I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying it looked like that. That was the... Oh, whatever. I'm not saying that they did that. I'm absolutely not saying that that's what happened. I'm saying that with the silhouette, it looked a bit like that.
It absolutely did not. Go on.
I thought it did.
I cannot wait for James's new pin tweet. Out of context. It looked like she was blowing the duck.
Blowing the
This
duck.
film is so mad and odd. Anyway,
Go on.
So Howard and the scientists head back to the lab, but there's no guards and the alarms are going off. Now we're getting a recreation of the start of Half-Life. Looks like Howard's route back home is fucked. Yeah.
Yep.
Then I've got, it looks like the scientists might have brought something else to Earth. Then I've got, why are the police feeling up Howard? Why did they strip him down to his
It's so
underwear?
funny when they holding him up against the wall. And also, why did he need the condom then? Because he clearly hasn't got anything. We've seen everything now.
I like the fact that little boxer shorts on.
Oh, right. Okay, we didn't see everything. Yeah, he's got boxer shorts. He might still have a little duck dick down there. Go on.
Then we got Leah
Next point,
Thompson. Leah Thompson pulls a gun on a policeman. I mean, that's probably not a great idea. And the duck got away, delivered like it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
I've put here at this bit of the film, I put the acting feels like it's a high school play at this point. Like, they're not even trying to act anymore. They're just saying their lines. It's so bad.
but then it's all like shoot to kill. And it's like, why?
Oh, yeah, wait, is this where he's hiding underneath the bins or something? Hiding behind hiding under the stairs, yeah. And he's listening to go,
That
shoot
was so
to kill.
stupid because they're like, we think the duck is armed, and then he's like, I'm going to throw the gun into a barrel full of water.
Yeah,
Keep
I
on,
didn't-
mate.
yeah, I didn't get
Might
that.
need it.
So then Chen reckons at this point that the scientist is going to turn into a duck because of following the accident. He was doing all that like, it's like wrong thing.
Oh, yeah. I tell you something. In a film with terrible acting in, from start to finish, Jenkins, the actor who played Jenkins, good performance. I mean,
He tried, but
weird,
it's still
weird in what was essentially, I guess, a family film. I think we should probably drop the idea that it's a family film. I thought the acting was really good from it. That whole the transformation,
the voice
the
and
stuff, the voice and everything. Best, so far ahead of all the other performances in this film. I thought.
Because especially like as he's transforming, like obviously later on there's prosthetics and stuff involved, but I'm pretty sure for a while that is just him just fucking inflating and tensing up his own face, and just looking absolutely insane.
He is good in this film.
Yeah.
He's good in it.
Okay, and then I've got pointlessly driving through bollards in a low-speed getaway, only getting away from anything. And then Chen just said, "Why don't they just brake? Why don't they just stop? Because they weren't being chased by anyone, so I don't know what that was about."
Yeah, right. So I had a thought about it. So, do you reckon it's that easy to drive through a locked chain link fence? I've never done it, but I would love to give it a go. But it feels like in any movie, you just drive through and it smashes apart.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be that easy at all. I wouldn't have thought. You've got a high risk of one of the supporting posts just smashing through the window and going through your head.
In movies, it's like going through, hot knife through butter, but it really made me want to do it myself. So
yeah, I've got a feeling that the movies don't really reflect reality, especially this one, Matt.
Yeah. Well, I don't like it. I mean,
it was at this point that I also wrote down, I bet they crash into a strip club. Yeah, that was going to be...
yeah, that wouldn't have surprised me. That would have been spot on.
Be on brand. Yeah.
Or actually,
we crashed into a strip club, toots.
Crashed into the brothel he worked in, and then the manager falls in the mud bath again because of it.
So then we got Jennings as being possessed by something. Then I've got, why are the sushi staff wearing kamikaze headbands? Because that...
Well, that was weird, wasn't it? Because it was like Cajun sushi, but obviously the sushi bit had been plastered over on the sign.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's like, that's like 80% of a joke, but not... But what?
You haven't quite made it. You haven't quite made it. So this scene here is the scene that I spoke about. So when they're in the cafe, or this, restaurant, whatever, this is the scene that I really remember, like, vividly. From the moment they walk in, I really remember the waitress when she turned around and went, "This is why I don't like the night shift." And then when they sit down and she's like taking the orders and he's going, "I am the overlord," or whatever he called himself. I remember all this really vividly. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. I remember like really being freaked out by him. I remember the fights. I remember the bit where he nearly loses his penis. They chop the knife down in between his legs, and he goes, there's someone shouts, "Are you okay?" And Howard the Duck goes, "Yes." Right, I remember that really, really vividly. And the bit where he puts his thumb down and makes a noise. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where he does like that little thumb down. I was like, oh my God, that is... I really remember this. Out of the whole film, this is the one where I was transformed back to being like a 7-year-old watching this in my front room. It's so weird.
Say, this scene got the first laughs out of me when Howard lost it when she offered him, eggs. I thought that was great.
Again, that confused me though. It did come from chickens.
Well,
Yeah.
it still made me laugh. He
Yeah.
I was sitting there going, but chicken eggs. He's going, I can't eat those. But why not? It's cannibalism. No, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. All right? Is it cannibalism?
Still funny.
Go on.
Yeah. And this, so I've written here, Chen has just thrown up. Then
What?
she's ill, though, not because of the film.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, she,
I mean, the film quite didn't help.
yeah, I think the film did. probably
Why
didn't
did
help.
you make a note of that?
Well, I don't know, because it was just I was sitting there just writing down everything that was happening. Because the
Seemed
other thing
relevant.
that happened was
If your poor wife was unwell and you're like, you've got to watch this disgusting movie with me.
She's really no. I'm thinking more.
Tired.
She's
You're not sleeping.
I'm thinking more that she's thrown up, right? And he's going, hold on, Chen,
Yeah.
she's thrown.
Wife vomit.
I paused the film. I paused
Oh,
the
okay.
film.
I was gonna-
Oh, good.
In James's notes, there was a knock at the door. I went to the door. It was the wrong door. The phone rang. It was my friend, but I said I couldn't speak now because I'm watching Howard the Duck. Go on, James.
So then I said, why aren't they taking his transformation seriously? The Demon Lord's powers are a bit rubbish. Blowing up some ketchup and stuff like that is.
I mean, as they do make it clear that he's like growing, right? Like he's essentially his powers are sort of slowly coming back to him. But yeah, even so,
Crap
not great.
throughout. And then I've got, why are the truckers being such arseholes? Then Howard's fighting everyone in the restaurant. This is like the chase scene from Heavy Rain. Again, he was thrown down a bar. You know, there was that whole, things getting smashed and all that kind of stuff. They love all that. It wasn't that great. And then I've got, why is Leah Thompson asking the Demon Lord to help Howard fight everyone?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what is he? What he's like, sort of an ally, which he was for sort of 3 minutes, and that was it. He's baddie again.
Then she declares that he's her boyfriend, which is Howard is odd. And then I've got, hang on, why are they going to kill Howard? They've got sauce and everything. Like they were going to cut him up. And that
What was the reasoning that they gave for them to be like?
I don't think there was any reason.
No, there was. He did something, didn't he? And they were like, oh, I don't know, I can't remember.
I mean, he beat them up, he mugged them off, and then started punching them all.
Yeah, he started a fight, I think.
Yeah, he wrecked the diner. Like, you wrecked our local business, you duck.
Yeah.
Cut your dick off.
Go on,
Then I've got the Dark Lord does his electricity thing. Why are the people goading the Demon Lord? Because
Yeah, they don't take him very seriously, do they?
No. They couldn't see the electricity around him.
I tell you what, in this bit, I just thought they must have had loads of leftover effects from Star Wars. This is very Emperor, isn't it? It's like, I swear I heard the same sounds.
Well, is it like Industrial Light and Magic works on this film?
yeah.
You can
It was
tell.
that same sort of
you
like
can tell,
electricity special effect, isn't it, that they had in like
Yeah.
Short Circuit and like all that stuff.
Like it.
Then I've got the Dark Lord channels his inner poltergeist. Chen, this duck is useless. He can't do anything. He's not lovable. I just hope he gets killed.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, he's not lovable. He's got no redeeming qualities. I don't want him to succeed in this film. Yeah, I'm with you.
I just imagine Chen like going, "Oh, this duck is useless. He must be killed.
I don't want to watch this, James. Stop it.
Must be killed."
She was having a break from laying in bed. It was like.
I mean, this was about the point in the film where I was like, I haven't seen Schindler's List or Casablanca, Goodfellas, Apocalypse Now, and I'm watching this.
I'd similar, not for those, but I did have the feeling of just like, I don't know why I'm doing this. This is just the worst.
It's part of the show, isn't it?
So then, okay, so the Dark Lord abducts Leah Thompson and like takes her like in that truck, and then apparently he's going to use her to like get more Demon Lords down.
Yeah, that makes sense. He needed a body to transport the Demon Lords into, right?
Yeah, and then he does the snake thing where this snake thing comes out of his mouth
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
starts
so-
charging off the cigarette lighter.
That was so bizarre. Why was that happening?
Very odd.
That was odd.
And then I've got Howard teams up with the annoying scientists. Meanwhile, the Demon Lord heads for a nuclear power plant.
This whole bit's fucking insane.
I know, because it goes on forever as well.
It's the longest. This is when me and you started texting each other, Matt, because we were at the same part of the film. And I said, "Where are you at?" And he said that they're in the hang glider, they're in the glider. And I was like, "Yeah, same here." And we sent each other a screenshot of our TV screens. We were exactly the same bit.
Yeah, exactly the same bit.
And I turned around and said, "Matt, if my memory is correct from when I watched this film when I was a kid, they're just in this thing until the end of the film." And he was like, "What? There's like 40 minutes left." I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just in this thing until the end of the film." And they sort of are.
Well, this is what I've said. Okay, I'll continue this. So I've got flying to rescue Leah Thompson in the flimsiest looking plane ever. Also, wouldn't a nuclear plant have better security? The Dark Lord has gone radioactive and Howard is still flying his shitty plane. And then Chen said this is one of the worst films I've ever watched.
It is bad.
And then you've got a comedy moment with the duck hunt. And then you get, I think there's a Wilhelm scream as well at that point.
Yes, there is. Yeah, there's one earlier on as well, actually. I'm pretty sure there's two of them in there, yeah.
Then I've got, meanwhile, the Dark Lord gets stuck in an emissions check station. The Demon Lord's powers seem a bit, shit, I've written. Because, again, it was rubbish, like whatever he was doing. There's no way he's going to take over the world with powers like that. It's crap. And then I've got Howard's plane is hit. Annoying scientist tries to fix it, and Howard does a loop-the-loop. How long is this going? How long is this going to last?
That whole bit just goes on forever. It's just needless. It's completely pointless. Long.
There's no time for water sports as the scientist dangles in the water.
I thought that bit was funny.
I've got this is the most pointless police chase ever. Why is Howard following the road? Somehow they end up back at the lab.
But again, that whole chase sequence, if that was in like The Goonies, you'd be like, yeah, all right. But why is it in the film with the condom and the shagging in the pool and the?
No.
You know what I mean?
Why is it in Leisure Suit Larry, the film? Yeah, weird.
Then I've got Dark Overlord has got Leah Thompson tied up again. He fills her up and Chen groans. Not from sick, but from what's on the thing. She just had enough by this point. Why is there nobody else in the lab? It was the site of a disaster. Obviously, bad things have happened here, but yeah, no one seems to care. An annoying scientist gets hold of a big experimental gun that the military were testing. How does he know about it? He works in a museum.
He doesn't just work in a museum. It's just basically the lab assist.
Yeah.
Awful.
And then I've got the little buggy with the gun is out of control for no apparent reason. Chen is now questioning why a metal satellite can stop the Dark Lord's powers. Doesn't it make them even more pointless?
Yes, it does.
And then I've got the Dark Lord casts Rot Breath. That's one for Elden Ring fans out there. This all feels like killing time. Howard eventually fires up the gun. It stops the Demon Lord. I'm not sure that the Earth had much to worry about, to be honest.
No, I think we would have been fine.
And then Chen just said, the duck isn't dead at this point. Because there was that big explosion stuff, wasn't there? And then we got, the Demon Lord isn't dead. Now he's a stop-motion monster.
Oh, God, that looks so bad.
No, to be fair, it looked terrible, but I quite liked the monster design.
Really?
It was like a big lobster scorpion thing. It did look quite cool. It's unfortunate that it was stop-motion.
Yeah, I mean, the stop-motion looked hilariously bad. It reminded me of... do you remember, what was that show on MTV, Celebrity Death Fight, or whatever it was called?
Yeah, like the Celebrity
Deathmatch.
Yeah, just looked that bad, which was intentionally bad. That was the whole point in that show, like that it looked shit. Yeah. But this, for no reason, just looked just not 2 frames a second for the rest of the film. Yeah,
terrible. And so then it activates the beam to get more demons down to Earth. Howard has 4 minutes. He gets back on his tiny car and fires off the gun again. What?
The way you said that was... Did anyone else hear that?
No, sorry.
Repeat that. Go back to the bit where the beam zaps down people. So just read it as you've written it again.
The monster activates the beam to get more demons down to Earth. Howard has 4 minutes.
Right, okay, that's not what you did, though. You went, I went down to Earth, Howard has 4 minutes, and I was like, 4 minutes to what? Why have you dropped that in there?
It's all right, it's 4 minutes. It's 4 minutes until that happens. At this point. Then he gets back in his tiny car and fires off the gun again, doing massive damage. Leah Thompson survives, but no, the demons are still on their way. It's the classic conundrum. If he destroys the machine, he can't get home. So then Howard sacrifices his chance to go home to protect the Earth from some weak demons.
You cry at this bit because you mentioned in our calls that you cry when it's someone like selflessly sacrificing.
Oh, yeah, something for the greater good. Yeah.
Did you cry?
They were too weak. Like these demons, they were rubbish.
Right.
I think James did cry.
I think James
waste
cried.
of a good sacrifice.
Yeah.
But then we had the Howard is dead fake out that was obviously going to happen.
Yeah.
Where he's like pretending he's been possessed and all that kind of thing. And then it ends on the most 80s concert ever.
It does.
What the fuck was that bit about? They just completely
the band suddenly made it.
Fuck everything. Gig. Music.
So earlier in the film, that it was like, hey, is Howard going to be the new manager? Now, is the implication that he's such a good manager, that's why they're suddenly playing on a massive stage?
Yeah, it's working now. Yeah. It's working now. Yeah, he's a good manager. Of course that's what they were going for.
Then he has like the whole Back to the Future moment, doesn't he? Where he does the whole guitar thing.
Yeah. For some reason, he's on stage with a guitar. Yeah.
And it's definitely implied that they're shagging at the end, right?
Yes. Cool. Yeah, because they go backstage and then they snuggle up together, don't they?
Does she like ruffles his feathers and call? What does she call him? Like my little ducky or something?
Yeah, well, she calls him Ducky throughout the thing, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So, shall I give you Chen's rating? What she said about it?
Oh my god, this is brilliant. Go on.
She gave it 2 out of 10, and then I said,
"What was the? Why was it? Yeah, where's
the 2 come from?
I don't know. Then I said, what was your favourite bit? And she said, no favourite bit. It was too noisy. Nothing makes sense. Too many holes in the plot. What is this for? Is it a children's movie? As it feels like an insult to my intelligence? Is she into animals or something? It's just terrible. And then she said, now it's a cult film. Who's into this? All those sex things. It's just not necessary. The way George Lucas sees women is wrong. Yeah.
I mean, she's absolutely right. I mean, you look at the evidence of George Lucas. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he probably wasn't involved much in this. He probably funded it and whatever, but he's not down as a writer. He's not down as a director. So he's just an executive producer, right?
And he's made good films by this point. Like obviously Star Wars and, like American Graffiti. I've never seen it, but I gather that's celebrated. Yeah.
No, it is a good film. Yeah.
But I just look. It's unbelievable that this film actually got produced. Like this actually got put together.
Nobody looked at it and went like, "Well, can you just take the adult shit out and we can at least sell it as a kids movie?"
Well, here's the thing.
The character's just too. But even if you take that stuff out, the character is just too thoroughly unlikable.
Yeah.
Well, this is it, right? So you look at. I think the film that you can compare this to the most is the Mario Brothers movie, right? And you look at that and you go, I can see why this still saw the light of day, because it's the Mario Brothers movie and it was going to make money, or at least someone thought it was going to make a lot of money because it's such a strong property. This didn't even have that.
Yeah.
There's literally no reason to release this.
Yeah, who was asking for a Howard the Duck movie? Like,
it's unbelievable. The script is awful. There's hardly any proper jokes in it. It's all shit puns. The acting's worse. Like there's one good actor in it. That's it. It's not funny. It's not interesting. It doesn't have anything to say. It's genuinely one of the worst films I've ever seen. Like genuinely. And actually, you'll be happy to know, James, that this become like the what they call it, the benchmark for shit films. So what, like in a pop culture reference. So I've seen a compilation of clips where it's been mentioned in American television, and it's always like in sitcoms where they go, he looks worse than the guy that funded Howard the Duck. It become a thing, like a sort of a meme back in the 80s and early 90s, where it would always be referred to as the lowest point in someone's career. Howard the Duck. That was.
But has it become a cult hit, though?
Nope, not that I'm aware of. No, not that I'm aware of.
Everyone just hates it. It's not, it's not like The Room or whatever, where it's like, it's so bad it's funny. No, it's just shit.
Yeah, it is just shit throughout. Like it's just awful.
That's right.
Although, speaking of memes, there is a Wilhelm scream in this, and obviously this is still back in the day where it was like a running joke between sound designers and producers.
Why is it? We said, I think there's two.
Yeah,
I think there might be two.
There's two? Okay.
Yeah, I think there's definitely one in the duck hunt scene, and I think there's one right at the start as well.
Okay, right, yeah, so it's the duck hunt one I was thinking of, but yeah.
Yeah, George Lucas was running around thinking he was the only one doing this in cinema at the time, but there was loads of them.
Yeah. David, you were saying about how bad it is, can't believe it got made. I mean, I'm sure you know this already, but Robin Williams was originally meant to be Howard the Duck, and he quit after 3 days.
Really? I didn't.
So he knew. He could smell it.
So according to his piece, this was in 2021. It was the 35th anniversary, and Leah Thompson and Chip Zien were looking back on it, and basically, this is Robin. But I was told by the third day, Robin said, "I can't do this. It is insane. I can't get the rhythm of this. I'm being confined. I'm being handcuffed in order to match the flapping duck's bill." This is what Zien said. So on Memorial Day 1985, I got a call from my agent who said, "You have to get right to the airport. Robin Williams just quit, and now you're Howard the Duck. You need to get there tonight."
So this is right. So obviously everything, because obviously it's one actor in the scene and then another one doing the voice. So I guess it had all been filmed at this point. So he was having to just do the lines to the film, and then but then there's so many other reasons to not do that film, Robin Williams.
Hey,
like, did you not just realise it was a stinker?
Dodge the bullet.
Wait, I wonder if that had any sort. Now Robin Williams was not part of the writing team for Mrs. Doubtfire, but I wonder if there's any of his experience of this is sort of. Do you remember the opening scenes of Mrs. Doubtfire?
I don't know. He
is voicing over a cartoon of a little, not a duck. It's like it's like a Tweety Pie type character, but still a bird. And he walks out because it's so offensive to him, and he said kids should not be seeing this.
Is that what? Yeah,
that's the start of Mrs. Doubtfire. He's a voice actor, and he walks out, and he says out of principle, because the scene in that is that the little bird smokes, and he's like, "I'm against smoking, and kids should not be seeing cartoons smoke and all this sort of stuff," and then he walks out.
I mean, that fits, right? How
it does,
smoke
right?
Cigars and yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, Sean's right. I mean, he just dropped out just because he couldn't. It says here, match his voice with the bird's animatronic beak.
Yeah,
there are so many more reasons to quit. So.
Hold on, you got to remember that he's. No. I don't think that's the reason why he quit. I think that's the reason why he told him that he quit. But I don't think that's the reason why he quit. Yeah. No chance. I couldn't match my voice to the beak. Fuck off. No chance he walked out of that job. He saw the script, he saw the duck and went, fuck this.
So Chip was a last minute kind of replacement. And,
I mean, it could be any voice, it'd still be terrible.
Well, there's nothing wrong with his performance, really.
Not really,
just
no.
Everything else stinks so bad that there's no salvaging it, is there?
Do you know what I love the most? Is that when people go through these calls, this will be the longest one.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
And be like, shit! Do I need to watch this film first?
I really like Marvel calls. It's nice and short. It's about an hour long an episode. They're doing one on Howard the Duck. This would be. It's an hour and 50 minutes.
This is funny. It says here, produced by George Lucas and based on the Marvel Comics character, Howard the Duck was originally supposed to be an animated film, but it became a live-action movie because of a contractual obligation.
What? Yes, I had heard that.
That is even more mad.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a movie.
There was also a video game adaptation published by Activision.
Was there? What did it come out on?
It came out on the ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, and Apple II.
It might come out on Game Pass if the
It says here, the game received generally negative reviews.
I'm looking at screenshots. Is how. I'm watching a screenshot of a really bad version of Howard the Duck with speech bubbles coming out of it saying, "I wonder where Beverly and Filsey have gone."
Fuck me.
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible.
I've just seen that screenshot.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Right, are we done? We'd probably done, right?
I mean, just one last question. How would you feel if they announced they were bringing it back?
What if they were given another shot?
'Cause I think they could make it work.
Yeah, look,
Apparently, I was just reading. Leah Thompson's tried.
Really?
Yeah, pitching ideas for continuing it. So,
Blimey.
but also he's appeared in What If as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's in the What If T'Challa was Star-Lord one, isn't he?
yeah, no, absolutely bring it back. I mean, we've just seen we're coming off the back of just seeing the Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Wow, sorry, I've just ignore what I've put in the chat there. Sorry. Yeah, we just come off the back of watching the Mario Brothers trailer, which looks amazing, and that was a terrible film. So who knows? But
he's also in Endgame.
Oh, that's right.
oh, that's right. Yeah, he's in the collector's place, right? That's the idea. Right. Okay. I think we're done with Howard the Duck. I think we're done with this call. I'd like to say like a massive thanks to Matt and Sean for joining us this week. I don't think we could have got through this, just the two of us, James.
It's the worst, wasn't it?
It's a bad film, but it's been fun
David,
talking about it.
Where's this going to go in your ranking of the Marvel movies?
Bottom, I think. Oh, actually, it might go above Thor: The Dark World. It's bad, isn't it?
It's really bad.
But we're back to it. Phase 5 next week, James.
Exciting.
It is exciting. Well, technically,
No,
I've already started
quite
Phase
looking forward-
5.
No, I'm quite looking forward to watching Black Widow again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, actually, because I like that character.
Yeah, it's one of Rachel's
And do you know
favourites.
what's really weird? We're only a few films away from watching films that were released when we started this.
Yeah, I know.
That's what's crazy.
What's the plan for Doctor Strange 2? Because you can't watch that with Harry.
I've heard so many conflicting things about that. Some people
What, in terms
saying
of how good it is? Or
it'll be fine.
We watched it with the kid, with Asher and Rachel, and they were. I mean, to be fair, Asher was a bit freaked out by it. Like,
Okay,
towards the
alright,
end,
I won't do it
it's
then.
It's a bit much towards the end.
Okay, I won't do it then. I won't watch it then. Ash is older. I won't watch it with Harry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, he's not really a Doctor Strange fan anyway, but
yeah.
But yeah,
Who is?
good point. See you later, everyone.
Bye.